What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. Your host, Elijah, here today. We're back with another episode. Today is Wednesday, May 13th. You're listening to this, either on May 13th or May 14th, hopefully one of those 2 days. We got a semi-packed schedule, hoping to get it done pretty quickly. You're going to flow right through this. We got quite a few things on the list, including the Dodgers, the Yankees, Paul Skeens, and even the Diamondbacks. Shocker there. But we're going to get into this. We're going to start. I'm a little late on an episode this week. It was finals last week, and then Canvas, if you didn't know, got hacked. So everything got pushed a week. So I've just been hella busy and haven't gotten any episodes out. But we're doing it today, even if late, on Wednesday, and then hopefully we'll be consistent the rest of the summer because we ain't got anything going on. So we're going to roll right through it. But first on the list, the Dodgers, who are crazy enough, struggling. I can't even, it's funny to even think that that's actually a real thing. So the Dodgers have lost 4 straight. They're on a 4-game losing streak, and they've lost 7 of their last 11. And each loss is by at least 4 runs. So they're not even just getting beat. They're getting like handedly beat. It's not even just a little bit. They lost last night 6-2. Yes, they did get Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts did return. He had a rib injury. But nothing changed. Max Muncy's still hitting the ball really well. Yoshinobu didn't pitch as good as we're used to seeing him pitch in his last start. Shohei Ohtani had the longest homerless streak. Finally broke it yesterday. It was 11 games. Now, before I go any further on this topic, because we're gonna have to talk about Shohei Ohtani, there's I guess a couple subtopics on this topic. The first being this: are we, as fans, judging Shohei Ohtani too harshly or more harsh than we would judge anybody else? I've seen that now asked on Twitter. They were talking about it on MLB Network. A lot of people are mixed, but my thing is this. I think that we are. And I think that it comes down to the fact that we've never seen this before. We've never actually had this. We've never had to judge a player on hitting and pitching. It's just never been a thing. Now, we know in the past, he's obviously won the American League, the National League MVP. He's been the MVP. He's done the 50-50. He has a bunch of offensive accolades. Now, as of right now, he is struggling with the bat. Let me pull up his stats. I was going to do that, and I stopped because I lost track of my train of thought here. Let's pull up Shohei. So right now, Shohei's batting .240. He's got a .797 OPS, which are 100%. I think those are the lowest numbers of his career. And again, there's still plenty of time for him to break out of it. But, his last 3 games, let's see game logs here. Okay. So, I want to see batting. All right. So, and the other thing is he's not normally, if you look at the previous years, not including the year he didn't pitch, but you're looking at previous years, he did hit and pitch in the same game. Well, that's not the case this year because they're managing his workload. So he's not even hitting the days that he's pitching. So he's just focusing solely on pitching, which is something we haven't seen before. But check this out. So, we'll start the beginning of May. So May 1st, he went 0 for. May 2nd, he went 0 for. May 3rd, he went 0 for. May 4th, he went 0 for. 2 hits on May 6th, 1 hit on May 8th, 1 hit on May 9th, no hits on May 10th, no hits on May 11th, and yesterday, 2 hits, including 1 home run. And he hasn't hit before that home run on May 12th. He hadn't hit a home run since April 27th. That's a long time, especially for Shohei. But the thing is this, because he has put so much, so much emphasis on his offense, do we think, and now especially with him not hitting on days that he pitches, are we looking at a Shohei who is pitching focused? I think that's very plausible. I think that's something that we're seeing now. He hasn't always put as much emphasis on pitching as he is now. And I mean, if you're looking at his pitching stats, which are, so he is leading the MLB right now, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm going to double check, but he's got an 0.97 ERA here. Why is Shohei not eligible? Like, what are we doing? Oi. Okay, so I'm not sure why we're not seeing Shohei on the leaderboard, right? So Shohei's at a 097. Obviously, him and Jose Soriano were the leaders for a while. Jose Soriano has bolstered up to a whopping 166. And then obviously the next in line is Cam Schlittler at a 135. Davis Martin for the Chicago White Sox at a 162. Nick Martinez, who's pitched really well for Tampa Bay, 170. Bryce Elder pitching well for the what am I blanking? The Braves. Clay Holmes, Paul Skeens at a 198, Chase Burns at a 211, and then we kind of go up from there. Now, are we judging him too hard, or is he just taking a different emphasis this year? Because he's dominated offense, he stole 50 bags, hit 50 home runs, won the MVP now multiple times. Are we seeing a Shohei who is now more focused on pitching? And I mean, I don't think that that's unfair of me or unfair of anyone to think. And I truly believe, whether that's, contrary to popular belief, I think that we're just seeing a Shohei who is more focused on pitching this year. And maybe, obviously he's like Thanos and wanting to collect all the Infinity Stones. He's like, got the MVP. Maybe in a couple years he'll try for the Triple Crown. If he hasn't already won, I don't think he has. But maybe I want a Cy Young. So I'm going to get a Cy Young. He's just creating this gauntlet of just greatness. And I think that that's just what Shohei's doing. I really think that he is going to continue to just almost like tweak pieces of his game every year that he's playing because he can. So I don't think that I really believe that Shohei is just putting a little bit more emphasis into pitching this year, and it's showing. A .97 ERA is ridiculous. That's stupid. So I think that's what's happening. Now it doesn't play well to the narrative that the Dodgers as a whole have been struggling, because they have. Freddie Freeman has been weirdly absent. I haven't seen a lot from him. He has been struggling quite a bit. Let's see if we can find Freddie Freeman's stats here, which obviously, knowing Freddie Freeman, that's pretty uncharacteristic. Has batting .318, who was kind of a flip from, he was kind of like one of those guys that they just couldn't afford to put in the lineup in the postseason last year because he couldn't hit for shit. So he's now hitting .318, which is pretty solid. And he made that obviously crazy catch to pretty much save the Dodgers World Series. Dalton Rushing's hitting the ball well, .302. But Freddie Freeman, funny enough, like we're saying that Freddie Freeman is playing bad, but he's batting .276, but he's not having the same impact. Teoscar Hernandez, 241. Kyle Tucker, 253. Will Smith, 265. Mookie Betts obviously just came back. He's batting $162. So yeah, a lot of mid 200s, which for this caliber of offense, you expect more. Freddie Freeman is probably a career 290, almost 300 hitter, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at his career numbers, and batting .276 seems below. He's a 299 career hitter. So 276 is slightly below average for him. And again, could just be a lull. We're going to see what happens. But the Dodgers are struggling. Do I think that this is going to be a long-term thing? Absolutely not. I think they're dealing with injuries. They still don't have Blake Snell back. The bullpen's kind of, it's like, they're still dealing with a couple pieces there. Tyler Glasnow just went to the IL with a back issue. I think that was when they were playing Houston. So they're just dealing with a few things. I don't think this is a big deal, but all in all, I really believe that Shohei is just putting more of an emphasis on pitching, and the hitting is just going to kind of lag a little bit. He's a human being. So I think that that's fairly normal to think. So anyway, enough of the Dodgers talk, because again, we don't want to spend so much time on the Dodgers. We get it. They're amazing. Shohei Ohtani's a freak. It is what it is. What we do have to talk about is the Yankees. Now, when I had wrote this morning, obviously the key point was that we were going to be talking about Anthony Volpe and the whole thing going on with Caballero and shortstop. Caballero was sent to the IL, I think 2 days ago, or a day ago, 2 days ago, one of those. He's going to be on the IL for 10 days after dislocating a finger. I think he fought tooth and nail to not have to go onto the IL, but push come to shove, they put him on the IL. Now we know that there's a lot of options right now in AAA. The Yankees have farm depth between Lombard, between Volpe, as well as Cabrera is also spending time in AAA, coming off of that injury he had a couple years ago. Nasty injury, by the way. But in the end, the Yankees love Anthony Volpe. I personally like Anthony Volpe. I know a lot of people don't care for him. I know last year was awful. He did win a Gold Glove a couple years ago, so there's that in his back pocket. Was runner-up Rookie of the Year. So, he's a good player. I think that last year was a crucial year, but I don't think that necessarily it should all be put on him. And the Yankees should share some of that blame as an organization for putting him out there injured and rushing him back. All the whole there's you can go all day talking about that whole saga. Um, but to get to the meat of the situation, Volpe gets called up. He gets the call. He's the one going to shortstop. And he had his first game back today. All in all, not a great showing. Went 0 for. Worked some at bats. He looked pretty solid. Working the at bats, but just didn't come through. He had a couple pop ups. He looks like Volpe from last year. I'm just not gonna lie to you. I mean, he's not a power bat. So you need him to play good defense, and then unfortunately today makes an error. I think that right now it's me watching, you can feel the pressure of the eyeballs that are on Anthony Volpe from a fan base, from the organizational standpoint, because there is a lot of pressure. It's like, okay, well, we know that you were injured, you had your surgery, you're working your way back. This position was technically supposed to be yours. Cashman had said that Anthony Volpe was always supposed to be the option. Well, turns out Caballero's been playing really well. Personally, I don't think that success is going to last all year because he's Jose Caballero and he's not your top tier. He's not Bobby Witt Jr. He's not Dansby Swanson. He's not your top tier shortstop. And maybe this is just kind of like old school me looking at the Yankees. You're talking about Derek Jeter. You're talking about A-list shortstops playing shortstop for the New York Yankees, and Jose Caballero is just not that. I think he's a scrappy ball player. I think he's a good ball player. I think he's a good utility. I think he's a good platoon guy. But for him to be your best option starting at short for the New York Yankees just doesn't sit well with me. I think the Yankees expected Volpe to fill that spot. And again, because of the legacy and everything that goes into being the shortstop for the New York Yankees, there's added pressure to that. And the fan base adds more pressure to that. And the organization is going to add more pressure to that. And now with Volpe going out there and knowing, well, I've technically sort of lost this position to a guy while I was hurt. Now he's hurt. Now I'm going to come in and they're pretty much going to be like, now win the job back. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on a dude that's been in the league for only 3 years. One of it was injured and the other was a rookie campaign. So he's had one full serious season in Major League Baseball. And I think there's a lot of pressure on him. And I think that showed more than anything today is that there's a bunch of pressure on him. Though as a professional athlete, as a professional baseball player, you're supposed to handle that adversity well. And it didn't show. Again, one day back. You don't know what's going to happen. He could come out tomorrow, or I think they're off tomorrow, but he can come back on Friday and be ready to go. You never know. But just a lot happening right now over there. Now, not to add insult to injury, this obviously, and I don't know if that's the right context to put in this situation, but the Yankees did get beat today 7-0. They got one hit. Kyle Bradish pitched really good. I think a lot of people didn't expect Kyle Bradish to be what he is. I watched him. He's got a nasty hook. He's pretty good. His curveball is nasty, dude. He's pretty solid. I was impressed. Watching him pitch, and obviously the Yankees were flat to begin with. So again, not a true tell of his skill. But he pitched well to the Yankees' struggles today. I'll give him that. That's what I'll say. But the story of the game wasn't even that. It was the fact that Max Fried left today in the third inning or after the third inning. To be honest, I was watching while I was working, so somebody's going to have to correct me. Maybe I should have done the research, so that's kind of on me. I don't know if he left mid-inning. I don't think he did. I think he left after the third. But anyway, leaves after the third inning, goes down to the tunnel, and then they put in Blackburn. So Fried's day was done after 3 innings. And again, he didn't look sharp. Velo was down, very erratic, just not looking great out there. And you could tell from the get that he didn't look right. And then obviously letting Baltimore's offense put up 3 on you or 4, however many they put on him before he left, it's a tough day. It's a tough day. And they didn't have any information. Then later on in the game, they announced that he had some posterior elbow discomfort or soreness, which obviously elbow. Did I say elbow? Elbow discomfort. Anytime. I don't care what the situation is. If you're feeling discomfort in your elbow, it's not good. 9 times out of 10, it's not good. Now, he mentioned that it was more. I watched the post-game interviews. He mentions that it was really just a feeling like something it was really tight. It wasn't like a necessary pain. And again, as a guy who literally still to this day needs Tommy John, I never got it. I know the feeling of where it is. Normally, you feel that tightness build up in your forearm. So the back of the elbow is a little bit. If you want to look for a silver lining, I guess that would be it. It's like, well, it's the back of the elbow. It's not necessarily in the forearm, kind of creeping into the elbow. So that's good. This could definitely just be something else. It could be something completely different. And you hope for that. You hope, as a Yankee fan, you hope that that's what it is. But I can't help but feel a little weird, right? You feel a little strange. You're like, I don't know, man. You don't like honestly, like anytime it's the elbow, you freak a little bit. You get a little worried. I'm a little worried. Again, he's going for imaging tomorrow with the team doctor. We'll know more then. He himself said that he's convinced that this is no more than just kind of a short-term thing. So I don't know, but it is worrisome. And especially it's kind of funny. You get Rodon back, you lose Fried 3 days later. So one thing I will say, and I made a video on Instagram talking about it. It's funny. Last week I made a video talking about how I thought the Yankees were the best team in the AL, even though the AL is trash. It's bad. Now we're completely flipping it. The Rays are now leading the division, and the Yankees have lost, or will be at least losing, Max Fried for a couple weeks at best. And they don't have Cole yet, and they just got Rodon, who did okay against Milwaukee. Walked a few too many for my liking and just seemed a little shoddy. But again, first start back, you're going to expect some hiccups here and there. So my point is this, the Yankees, when they get Cole back and they're at quote unquote full strength, you expect to have them with Max Fried. Max Fried is a vital piece to this rotation. And especially with how bad the bullpen is, you need Max Fried in that rotation. Without him, they'll be fine. They still have Weathers. They're going to have Warren, who's pitched good. Both of them, Weathers has been very fair weather, as the best way to put it, very off and on. Pitched well against Baltimore the other day. So you're going to have to take it in stride, right? Obviously we're going to hope that it's nothing too crazy. But this is definitely, if it turns into something long-term, it's a little bit something to worry about. So just something to keep an eye on there. And then the other thing that I do want to mention is the bullpen for New York is atrocious. I don't care what anyone says. I'm done. I've been very nice about it. Like, they struggle, Duvall's okay, just the bullpen for New York is just not good. And I think it's time that let me pull up these stats, because it's just real bad. It's real bad. Give me these stats here. Give me pitching stats. All right. So Fernando Cruz is the only one that I think has merit. Hedrick has had a great month. A great month. End of April, early May, has done really well. So Fernando Cruz, Hedrick, Bednar is still throwing to a 3.5 ERA. Duvall, I don't care what the situation is. I get nervous anytime Duvall gets the ball. I think they need to trade him at the deadline. Jake Bird, okay. Yarbrough, okay. Blackburn, okay. Luis Hill obviously got optioned. He's probably going to be a bullpen piece later on in the year. Same with Elmer Rodriguez. Chivili, I don't even know what to do, but think about that. So it's very clear that at the deadline, if the offense can come through and hit some hot streaks, they're going to be solid, because the offense will be fine. Defense is fine. Maybe trade for another infield piece. If it's not going to be Volpe, I just personally can't hang my hat on Caballero. So find maybe another piece there. Obviously Dominguez is hurt. You have Spencer Jones, who's he's okay. Again, maybe he's going to need a little bit more time to get loose and get ready in there. But 100%, just to wrap it up here, because I can talk about the Yankees all day long, is the fact that the bullpen needs addressing, like, seriously. Like, they need some serious help in the bullpen, and I don't know if they're going to maybe have to make a trade for Jones, maybe trade Dominguez, trade Volpe. I don't know, but they need help in the bullpen. If they're really going to make a run deep this year, which I really, in my heart, feel like they're going to at least make it to at least the CS World Series, the bullpen, like, they cannot go deep into a playoff series with this bullpen and expect to win games. It's a 75-25 chance it works. Oh, I don't know. And you can't. Tim Hill's thrown 20 games this year with a 1 ERA. Tim Hill's good, but you're going to roll him out there every day and just be like, hey, man, it's all yours every single night. Bednar, if Bednar can get rolling back to who we know Bednar is, I'll be good with Bednar. And Cruz is, 2.7 ERA. He's pitched in 20 games as well. But Cruz, again, is one of those guys when the splitter's not on, it ain't going to be a good day. So the bullpen needs addressing. We're going to keep an eye on Max Fried, and we'll see how Volpe responds in the next game. It's going to be interesting. And now, obviously, cannot go another episode without talking about Mr. Paul Skeens, who has lowered his ERA down to a 1.98 after absolute domination of the Colorado Rockies on Tuesday night yesterday. Now, listen, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about Paul Skeens because we know Paul Skeens. We know the damage that he does on the mound to a team. Through a CG against my Diamondbacks the other night, through another damn near CG. I think he went 8 innings yesterday against Colorado. Dude's a freak. I don't know how else to put it. He hasn't walked a batter in a month. If you eliminate his, again, at the beginning of the year, we all, myself included, was like, holy shit, Paul Skeens didn't make it out of the first on opening day. Like, what is happening? Or is Paul Skeens, is the ride over? Are we worried? Like, just me internally saying that, right? But everyone was kind of like, it's 1 star, dude, chill out. If you eliminate that first start, his ERA is a 1.09. He's damn near Shohei level. It's insane. Now, is there any pitcher that's truly near him? And I'm talking like, you're looking like all encompassing, not just this year. I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I know I just went down looking at ERA leaders. Cam Schlittler, okay. Like, if you're looking at guys with like enough like evidence in the league, not just having a good year, but have had consistently good years. I mean, besides Jacob deGrom, who's still pitching to a 2.62 ERA. I mean, Tarek Skubal obviously is pretty much up there, and obviously we know he's injured. I don't know that there's another pitcher that I can really be like, yeah, Paul Skeens and X. Like, it's hard. So again, and here's the funny thing, and kind of just like something that I've kind of like noticed, and this is like, I'm not trying to get like sappy or anything, but like, it's crazy to think like we're watching Shohei Ohtani in his literal prime. We're watching Paul Skeens in his prime. Like, these are like generational baseball players. People call Juan Soto a generational baseball player. I guess financially, if you want to call him a generational baseball player, I don't think he does anything more special than most others. I don't know. His defense is not great and he hits okay. So I guess you want to call him a generational player. Sure. Go ahead. But to see absolute domination from a ball player like Paul Skeens, like Shohei Ohtani, it's crazy to think that we are watching this happen in real time. It's wild. It's crazy. Now, the hell am I on? Now, something that I am going to talk about on Instagram tomorrow, I'm going to make a video about it. I've already kind of sketched out what I'm going to talk about regarding that. This next topic. Hold on, I got to respond to this text here. Cal Raleigh. We have to talk at least a little bit about Cal Raleigh. Now, if you can go back and find the history, I was one of the guys that was always saying, and again, people think I'm biased because I'm obviously an Aaron Judge fan, I'm a Yankee fan. All last year, we all know the talks were, Cal Raleigh or Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh or Aaron Judge for MVP, whatever, for AL MVP. I was never trying to be an ass, and I'm still not being an ass, I promise. But like, if you look at stats, if you look at everything, obviously Aaron Judge was the better ball player. Like, yes, Cal Raleigh did it as a catcher. It's never been seen before, but Aaron Judge was the better player all the way. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Less strikeouts. I'm not going to go through the whole argument again because I went through it all last year and I argued that shit into the ground. But now we're looking at Cal Raleigh have a really, really tough year so far. Finally, yesterday breaks out of an 0-for-38 slump. Gets showers with his jersey on, however you want to say it, slump bust or whatever. Finally gets out of this awful slump. But he was 0-for-38 at a point. 0-for-38, man. Not good. It's not good. He's batting a $166 with 7 bombs and 26 hits. It's not good. So now you have to at least kind of stop and be like, all right, man, like a career 2.22 hitter. He's batting a $166 now. Yes, he had a great year, but was last year a fluke? And again, Mariners fans are going to be like, man, whatever, get upset, get mad. But you have to, as an outside fan looking in, you have to kind of be like, hey, man, the math isn't mathing. For him to have a year that he had last year, you have to think, was it a fluke? And again, we won't know for another couple years. We won't know because this year you can just, and again, it's good for baseball to see something like that because it makes the game fun, makes it competitive, it drives more eyes on more teams. Obviously, the Mariners had a great team last year. They have a great team this year, but Cal Raleigh is a big piece of that team. Without his success, it's going to hurt the lineup. It's going to hurt the team. So, and obviously they went deep last year, but you have to stop and think, like, if he never sniffs those numbers again, what are we going to say? And I think it's plausible to ask. But we're going to keep watching Cal Raleigh, but $1.66, not good. But we're going to find out. Again, could very well just be a really, really slow start. And he could bust out of it and be just fine. But it's concerning. It's very concerning. But let me know what y'all think about that, because that's a hot topic in a lot of people's timelines, feeds, whatever you want to call it. Now, the last thing on my list, so I guess I have maybe one more after this one. I don't know if I'm going to talk about the last one. The Diamondbacks DFA'd Alek Thomas late on Friday last week. Out of nowhere, it felt like, because he started the night before. But Alek Thomas, yes, had some offensive struggles. He was never an offensive powerhouse. We kind of knew that already. A lot of us knew that. Now, here's what I don't understand. This is what makes it feel weird. Obviously, he's a career 230 hitter. He's not great. He started this year not awesome either. He's got 2 bombs, 100 batting, $181, 562 OPS, which is slightly below what he is career-wise. But he is a phenomenal defender. I mean, he has to be. I've seen him run some balls down. He has to be a top 10 defensive outfielder, 100%. No question. I mean, he is good. He's a good outfielder. Not a great hitter, but he's a good outfielder. And the Diamondbacks, I get it. Like, they're in a weird spot. They are in a weird spot. Zach Gallen threw a clunker yesterday. He's thrown a clunker his last 3. I'm genuinely worried if he is still able to pitch at least be effective at the big league level, or if there's something wrong. I don't know. But the whole starting line, the starting pitchers for the Diamondbacks have been good, aside for maybe one or two pitchers. The bullpen has come in really nicely. They have a really scrappy offense. I think that this was just, I don't know what this was. I've still yet to kind of, are you really looking for that much more offensively? Like, he's a great defensive outfielder, and that's not me being biased. Like, I was like, he's going to save you outs. He's going to get you more outs than I think anybody else would. Now, they called up that guy Waldschmidt or whatever his name is, top prospect, and he's played great. So it's hard to argue that point, because it's like they took him out and they're getting a little bit more offense from him. But I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. But what made it worse was who they made the trade with, right? So they traded to the Dodgers, which I don't know why the Dodgers also have a stacked outfield, to be honest. Pages, Tucker, Teoscar. They have a lot of outfielders. Now they added Alek Thomas. I'm assuming he's with the club. I don't know. Just kind of a weird vibe trade. I don't know. The whole thing is just strange. And I don't know how to feel about it. I still don't know how to feel about it. It happened like last week. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I know. Okay, so it didn't happen last week. They DFA'd him like on Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. They DFA him. Obviously, he has to clear waivers, and if not, he was going to get options, because he did have options. That was the other thing. Was like, he had options. Why option him, let him go work it out, and then bring him back up? Like, they didn't. And again, they were like, well, we don't want him to think that we're just having him sit in AAA and he could have gotten traded and played at the big league level. Like, okay. The whole thing just was weird. And with the Diamondbacks' recent struggles, they haven't played that great either. They've dropped to 20 and 21. The whole thing is just really weird. It's very strange. So we're going to see where or how the Dodgers are necessarily going to fit Alek Thomas into that plan. It'll be interesting to see. Because the last time he played was on the 7th, which was, I think that was Thursday. Right? Maybe. Yeah, last Thursday. And he went over. But yeah, so the last thing I had on my list, so again, be on the lookout for how that works. But the last thing I had on my list is the Rays are now leading the AL or the AL East, right? Yeah. They have the best record right now in the American League, which is 28-13. The Yankees are 27-17. So the Yankees are now 2.5 games back. Though the Yankees, here's my argument. A lot of people were like, the Rays. Okay, the Rays. Yeah, sure, they're great. They have Shane Clanahan. They have Nick Martinez has been pitching really well. They've got some guys who are throwing the ball decently well. I'll give them that. Okay, good for you. Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz, they have a decent offense. And again, call me biased, call me whatever you want. Here's what I'm going to say to that. And again, maybe a little salty that the Yankees are playing like ass lately. And maybe that's what's drawing this. But I will say this because I've argued with a couple people on TikTok. The Rays are the real deal. The Rays are going to go far. Listen, the Rays are good. The Rays are going to make it to at least, they're going to get a playoff spot. We're going to see what they're made of in the fall, in October. I just still to this day, but when it's all said and done, when you pair these guys against a real team, and I'm talking you pair them against, a Cubs, an Atlanta Braves, a Dodgers, a Padres, a Yankees, if the Yankees are going to continue to they're going to get out of whatever little funk they're in. You put them against the Yankees, you put them against Cleveland. Cleveland, I don't know. I think they're even with Cleveland, but you put them against the Yankees, and then they go even further. You put them against the Cubs, you put them against whatever. You put them against a good ball club, it's a completely different situation, a completely different experience. And I will say this, if you're a Rays fan and you're mad because I'm saying that I don't think that they're going to necessarily take the whole thing. Yes, they're playing good ball. Yes, they're pitching really well right now. But if you look at any power rankings, and again, you can poo-poo power rankings all day. People like power rankings. Some people don't like power rankings. Me, I kind of always take them with a grain of salt. They're in no one's top 5 in power rankings. No one. That's not a coincidence. It's just not. They're hot right now. They're good right now. Okay. Ride the wave and let's see where it takes us, because I just think that there's more to this story. I think once the summer months comes and more guys heat up, more things happen, there's going to be a lot more stuff. I just don't think that they are going to continue this success all the way through because they don't have as much power. Again, Kevin Cash is a great manager. They're playing really well right now. I'm not going to take that away from them. They're hitting the ball. They're consistent. Aranda, Caminero, whatever his name is, Diaz, all of them. Good ball players, But let's see how it all goes first. And I just think I'm no expert. Poo-poo me, shit on me, whatever. Like what the hell is this guy talking about? They're in no one's top. I think that's for a reason, right? So again, we will see what happens. Hopefully this doesn't come back and bite me in the ass, because my last comment about the AL bit me in the ass. But we will see. We will see. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much if you've been watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Let's talk some ball. I appreciate it. Again, I love talking ball, man. So if you got a differing opinion, you think I'm an idiot, like I said, if you're a Rays fan, you think I'm wrong and the Rays are the real deal, let me know. Let's talk. Let's talk ball. That's what I'm here for. That's what I love to do. So once again, guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to try to start doing 2 episodes a week. Like I said, the Canvas hack really threw everything off. So that kind of just jacked up my schedule. But we're good. It's summer. We got some stuff happening. It's going to be fun. But a lot of baseball happening. So once again, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we will catch you guys in the next episode.